Okay, so let's look at some problem-solving questions. So I'm going to do my x. And what I'm looking for is a number that would work here. So there's a variety of answers we can pick. So if I look, I want to multiply to 15, but I don't have a sum. That's what I have to figure out. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 15. So I would say 5 times 3. You could have picked 1 times 15. That would also work. So I'm going to pick plus 5 and plus 3. And now I'm going to write the sum of those down here. So that would give me a sum of 8. So I can say that 8x is what would go in this space. And I already picked the two numbers, so I can say that it would have been x plus 5 and x plus 3 that would make it factor. So I'm going to do my x. I want to multiply this time to minus 20. So I think of two numbers that multiply to 20. I'm going to pick 4 and 5. I need this to be positive, so I'm going to make my 5 positive and my 4 negative because I also need minus 20. So then I look, well, minus 4 plus 5 is 1. So I'm going to put 1x in that space. I already picked the two numbers that would work. So I'm going to say x minus 4 and x plus 5. So I don't have a product, but I do know the sum is 5. I know I need to have a product that's positive, so I think of any two numbers that add to 5. You can pick any two. You can do 1 plus 4, 2 plus 3. I'm going to pick 2 plus 3. You can pick 1 plus 4. They both need to be positive because they need to add to 5, and the product needs to be a positive number. So then I look at, well, what is 2 times 3? And that is 6. So it means 6 would go here on the end. I already picked my two numbers because I get to make up the question. So I have x plus 2 and x plus 3. Okay, let's look at an application question. So I've been told that the area of this rectangle is x squared plus 5x minus 50. And it wants me to factor to find the length and the width. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to minus 50 and add to 5. So there's a few more combinations, so we kind of have to think about, well, what would add to 50, multiply to 50 and add to 5. And I'm going to start with the most obvious one, which is 5 times 10. I could have done 2 and 25, but that's not going to give me 5, and 1 and 50 isn't, and there are other combinations that we could think of. But I have to get ones that could do that. So let's look at which one might work. I'm going to go with 10 and times 5. I need minus 50, and I need a positive 5. So that means 10 needs to be positive, and 5 needs to be negative. So I can say that the area is x plus 10 times x minus 5. The length is usually the longer side. So this one, if I put a number in for x, would be the bigger side. So I'm going to say the length is x plus 10. So that means the width is x minus 5. So they want me to put 12 in for x to figure out the length and the width. So the length was x plus 10. So if I replace x with 12, the length will be 10 and 12. And if I add those together, I get 22 units. I chose my width to be x minus 5. So again, I'm going to replace x with 12. So I have 12 minus 5 is 7, and I'm going to say 7 units.